It's been just over a month since myself and Amelia made our last Goat Simulator video. In that video we asked which expansion you wanted to see us cover next, and you chose the Waste of Space expansion. As you can probably guess from the name, this expansion takes place in space and has tons of secrets and Easter eggs to uncover, so once again join me and Amelia as we take a look at 20 Easter eggs, secrets or references in Goat Simulator Waste of Space. As always, if you think we've missed anything, then the best place to let us know is on Instagram or Twitter. The links to both will be in the description and in my pinned comment. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. So up first, let's start with a Star Wars reference. I mean, it wouldn't be a game set in space if there wasn't a reference to Star Wars now, would it? Near the research centre, you can find a man standing near a ball pit and a pit of lava. If you drop him in the lava pit, this will happen. So your goat becomes Darth Vader or Goat Vader, complete with the ability to force grip.
Take my money!
If you decide to drop the human sacrifice into the ball pit, your goat will instead become a Jedi with the ability to use the Force. This next Easter egg also references Star Wars, but that's not what we're here to see. At the centre of two statues carrying lightsabers is a cube with a QR code printed on it. If you scan the code with a QR reader, it will give you these coordinates. Enter the coordinates into Google Maps to find this location. Up next is a reference to one of my favourite game series of all time. In the crew quarters you can find this. So hiding in a box is something that's been in Metal Gear Solid games for a long time now. That's not the only reference in this clip. When you first discover the box, the text on screen says "Go, go, go." This is a reference to the now famous death screen in Metal Gear Solid 1.
Snake! What happened? Snake! Snake!
The next video game reference is a little more vague. After jumping on these two red buttons, the phrase Italian plumbing will appear. This is a reference to gaming's most famous Italian plumber, Mario. Oh, and as was the case in previous expansions, licking these green mushrooms, which are actually extra lives in the Mario games, will cause your goat's head to increase in size. There is one more video game that's referenced in this DLC, but I'm going to save that one until the end as it's brilliant. On to one of the more random Easter eggs in the expansion now. Once again, in the crew quarters you can find this. Now you may be wondering why Amelia's goat has seemingly been cut in half. Well, that's what happens when you use teleporters too much. Anyway, I have no idea if this rabbit is a reference to something. If you think you know, then please leave a comment down below. So another pretty strange Easter egg now. If you jump into the money bin, not only will there be a reference to Scrooge McDuck, but this will happen. So your goat becomes a piggy bank, or a goatee bank if you will. If you collect enough coins to fill up your goat, it will turn upside down and pour coins out. Even better than that is what happens if your goat falls from a height.
That goat looks crazy.
This one had Amelia laughing. So this next Easter egg is a reference to a popular sci-fi TV show and a popular kids TV show. At the museum you can find this picture. So first of all, let's address the sci-fi reference. The costumes that these people are wearing are very similar to the outfits worn in Star Trek. The kids show reference is actually to the Teletubbies. Colours of the outfits represent the characters from the show, with purple being Tinky Winky, green being Dipsy, yellow being Lala, and red being Poe. Oh, and the face in the sun is also from the show, but instead of an adult's face, it was a baby's face. Fun fact, my sister actually appeared in an episode of the Teletubbies here in the UK. So that's not the only reference to a sci-fi TV show found in this expansion. At the museum, you can find this. So the aptly named Turdis, which leaves a stream of poo behind after it teleports, is a reference to the TARDIS from Doctor Who. After the Turdis has vanished, you can find it again at the QR cube we looked at earlier. Perhaps the coolest Easter egg in the Waste of Space expansion involves a battery and a giant death laser. At the radar dish, if you manage to carry a battery to the top of the dish, which, be warned, is a bit of a pain in the arse, this will happen. So after that literal groundbreaking Easter egg, time to check out a much smaller reference now. In the research area, you can find a bottle rocket. Jump on the pump to launch it.
I thought this was a free to play.
Of course, Who Still May Have a Problem is a reference to the Apollo 13 space shuttle. Interestingly, those words were never actually said during communications between the shuttle and mission control. Goat Simulator has often contained hidden games within the game. Take the Flappy Goat Easter egg in the original Goat Simulator for proof of this. Well, in the Waste of Space expansion, you can find an entire games room for you to enjoy. First, you have Space Invitations, which is a reference to Space Invaders. Next is a game called Weak Point, which as far as I know isn't a reference to anything, but as always let me know if it is. Then you have one of my favourites, Space Attorney, which is an obvious reference to the Ace Attorney games. Then we have FTS, which is a reference to Faster Than Light, or FTL for short. The final game is No Name Sky, which is an obvious reference to No Man's Sky. This next Easter egg is a small one, but for some reason Amelia loves this cat, so I had to include it. After returning an escaped inmate back to prison, you'll be given the ability to spray graffiti. One of these is a reference to the popular internet meme, Nyan Cat. So I've already seen references to Star Wars and Star Trek, and now it's the Alien movies' turn for a bit of recognition. Near the colony, you can find an alien infestation. If you allow yourself to be teleported up, this will happen. So you become one of the iconic aliens from the movies. Your special power sends out face huggers and covers your targets in a bouncy green goo, which I'm pretty certain isn't flubber, but who knows at this point. This next Easter egg references the great Stephen Hawking, who sadly passed away in 2018. At the research centre, if you drop 5 objects into the machine, this will happen. So your goat becomes a goat version of Stephen Hawking, while also granting you the ability to cast miniature black holes of your own. So this final Easter egg is perhaps my favourite in the entire expansion. After progressing the game, you can unlock the test chambers. Head inside to see if the cake really was a lie.
My spaceship hates me. My
Goats
wife
don't
hates
belong
me.
in space.
Is that law?
So you've probably guessed that these test chambers are a reference to the Portal series, including cows instead of companion cubes. The cows even have little love hearts on them. This is a great Easter egg just because the developers seem to spend way more time on this area than the rest of the expansion. So that's it, that's 20 Easter eggs, secrets or references found in the Waste of Space expansion. If you guys enjoyed this video, then a like is really appreciated. And of course, if you think we've missed anything, then please let us know. The best place to do so is on Instagram or Twitter. And as usual, I'll let Amelia handle the outro.
Thank you all for watching. We both hope you liked the video. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed. And subscribe for more Goat Simulator Easter eggs. Speak to you soon.